Kayla Harrison's well-honed judo skills have helped her attain a near-flawless record in MMA, not to mention the various accolades she collected in judo before she transitioned. But you'd be surprised at how difficult her journey has been. Her story is one of perseverance in the face of incredible odds. Did you know she was sexually abused at the age of 15? Or what about the time she suffered the tragic and sudden death of a very close loved one? Please allow me to give you 10 fascinating facts about Kayla Harrison. Number 10. She started her judo training when she was just 6 years old. You might not think that a girl from Middletown, Ohio would have any reason to get into judo, but that's probably because you're not aware of her parental background. You see, Kayla's mom, Jenny Yazel, has a black belt in judo, which makes her something of an expert in this style of grappling. This gave Kayla just the kind of support she needed to hit the ground running, and she didn't waste her head start. By the time she was 15, she had won 2 championships at the national level, along with 3 U.S. Judo Opens between 2003 and 2005. Now, her mom wasn't the only one guiding her budding career. Beginning in August 2003, she started training under Daniel Doyle, and his coaching probably helped her clinch the national titles. However, there was something sinister happening under the surface that Kayla had to endure in silence. Number 9. She is a sexual abuse survivor. Coaches have a very close relationship with the fighters they're training. There's obviously going to be a power imbalance at play, and Daniel Doyle decided to use this to his advantage. Kayla was so young that she actually thought he loved her, and her determination to reach her full potential made her feel like Doyle was the most important person in her life. She has talked about how he basically brainwashed her and took advantage of his influence. But fortunately, her mom eventually found out about what was happening.
I was sexually abused by my first coach. And when I turned 16, I finally came out and told my mother about it.
And she called the police. Doyle was immediately arrested, and a year later he was sentenced to 10 years in prison. As for Kayla, she decided to leave Ohio behind and head for Boston for a fresh start. That's where she found James Pedro, a world champion judo master, who gave Kayla some proper training that took her to the next level with her own father's help. Number 8. She gained 33 pounds of pure muscle. Kayla weighed in at around 139 pounds up until this point, but when she started looking at bigger international tournaments like the Olympics, she decided to pack on the pounds. She ended up hitting 172 pounds, a massive 33-pound increase of pure muscle. But this ended up backfiring at her big time. Number 7. She got left out of the 2008 Olympics. The switch might have helped her build up a more robust technique and execute takedowns with greater force, but also meant that her hopes of reaching the Olympics for the first time were dashed, because the United States didn't qualify in her new weight division. However, that's not to say that she was sitting around doing nothing. When the Olympics slipped out of her grasp, she headed to the 2008 Junior World Championship and ended up winning the tournament. She followed this up by finishing second in the 2009 edition, becoming the first American to reach 2 consecutive Junior World Championship finals in history. Those are some pretty impressive achievements. But of course, she was only getting started. Number 6. She made history at the World Championship. The tournament took place in Tokyo. Kayla went in all guns a-blazing, with a brutal determination to systematically take each and every opponent apart. Her training had left her well prepared for the big leagues, and she ended up winning yet another gold medal on the first stage. This was a very big deal, because you see, the last time an American had won gold at the World Championships was way back in 1999, which is when her mentor, James Pedro, earned the coveted prize in Birmingham. It's fitting to say that she became Jimmy's successor. The student had now become the master. She added a bronze medal to her trophy room the very next year. The stage was set for her to give the Olympics another try in 2012. But that's when tragedy struck at the last minute. Number 5. She suffered an excruciating injury right before the 2012 Olympics. The U.S. had finally qualified for the half-heavyweight division, so Kayla had the chance to participate in the world's biggest sporting event at long last. Unfortunately, she tore her MCL while she was training in Tokyo, so she was forced to head back home with a busted knee and wounded pride. She was obviously worried about a repeat of the disappointment she experienced in 2008, but her mental fortitude helped her recover surprisingly quickly over the next 4 months. On August 2, 2012, she beat the UK's Gemma Gibsons by 2 points, which made her the first American judo athlete to win a gold medal at the Olympics. By this point, Kayla had made a habit of becoming the first American to achieve all sorts of great things, and she was showing no signs of slowing down. However, another traumatic event was lurking around the corner. and Kayla never saw it coming. Number 4. Her father took his own life in 2014. The tragic incident happened on St. Patrick's Day. The worst part is that there was no sign that he was in a bad place, according to Kayla. She hadn't even talked to him for 72 days before his death, likely because she was busy training for the next Olympic Games in 2016, and the death hit her very, very hard. Kayla was 23 years old at the time, and she had at least another decade of glory ahead of her. She would have wanted her dad by her side through it all, but sadly, it just wasn't meant to be. Probably most of us wouldn't have been able to keep going, but Kayla somehow used this to add even more fuel to her fire. Number 3. She became the youngest American Rokudan of all time. In case you didn't know, that's a judo term for a 6th-degree black belt, which is just 1 degree shy of her coach's current level. She earned this prestigious title in 2016 at just 26 years of age, and it was just the latest in a series of victories for the young athlete. The previous year, the United States Judo Federation admitted her into their Hall of Fame, and right before being promoted to Rokudan, she had won her 2nd Olympic gold. The shadows of her past clearly weren't haunting her anymore, and Kayla had nowhere left to go but up. The thing is, she had already achieved so much as a judo athlete in her mid-20s that she was ready for a new challenge. That's when she decided to give a new and much more brutal sport a try. Number 2, she transitioned into MMA in 2016.
I wanted to try something completely different and new, but not really. I mean, it's not like I'm out there doing ballet, you know?
With 2 Olympic golds and entry in the Hall of Fame and the rank of Rokudan under her belt, the world of MMA seemed like a fitting arena for Kayla to flex her chops. Her experience training with Ronda Rousey had shown her just how exciting the sport could be, so she started off by signing with World Series Fighting as a commentator. This helped her dip her toes in the waters, and a couple years later she got herself a contract with the Professional Fighters League. She won her debut bout in the first round and lost just 1 out of 17 fights over the next few years. Now that she's in the UFC, she might be able to achieve the same greatness her ex-friend did. Number 1. She used to be good friends with Ronda Rousey. When Kayla Harrison was 16, she was still finding her feet in her judo career. She ended up moving in with Ronda Rousey, and they both trained under the renowned coach Jimmy Pedro in Boston. During that time, Kayla became Ronda's training partner, preparing together for the 2008 Olympics and traveling to Beijing. Back then, Harrison's main concern was surviving on the mats with her older roommate, who used to beat the crap out of her, for her own good, of course. But other than that, Ronda was a great friend and helped Kayla. She has said that sometimes she didn't have any money to buy food for the week, and Ronda would buy the groceries for the both of them. Though they don't really keep in touch much now, there's no animosity between them. They've simply drifted apart over the years. Which of these facts about Kayla Harrison you like the most? Leave a comment below. Don't forget to like and subscribe. But that's all for today. See you next time. Till then, remember to protect yourself at all times.